Mikel Arteta, the former Arsenal captain, has been studying under Pep Guardiola for just over 3 years. Now he's ready to step out from under the Spaniard's wing and take on the Arsenal job. I could begin this video by highlighting that Arsenal's biggest problem lies in their defence and the lacklustre Mesut Ozil, but let's be honest, who doesn't already know that? Instead, let's dig deeper. Let's look at how Man City set themselves up to dominate teams. It's easy to think of players as either good or bad players, but in reality, it isn't that simple. Some players are brilliant for one manager and complete flops for another. Petr Cech was a magnificent goalkeeper for many years, but his passing ability simply wasn't good enough for Unai Emery. Mo Salah's darting runs tear teams apart, but he lacks the physicality for a Mourinho team. The point is this: in order to analyse who may fit into Arsenal's team under Arteta and who won't, we can't just say who is a good player and who isn't. We must first understand the style of play Arteta will look to implement, and then ask ourselves which players would fit into this style of play. While Arteta hasn't yet managed a team, he has been learning under Guardiola for several years and seen arguably the best Premier League team ever. And I'm saying this as a Man United fan. Believe me, there's a lot of pain there. Therefore, it makes sense Arteta will attempt to instill a similar style to Pep in the long term. Man City line up in a 4-3-3 formation. The goalkeeper and centre-halves provide passing options in the build-up play, meaning they aren't just defensive players, they are also good footballers who initiate the attack. For Arsenal, Bernd Leno in goal has made the most saves of any goalie in the league and is good with the ball to feet, so he fits the mould well. In the two centre-half positions, we have Arteta's biggest headache. The goalie has been forced to make the most saves because Arsenal don't have a single centre-half that is currently up to scratch. In this position, Arteta's main options consist of Sokratis, Rob Holding, Mustafi, Chambers and David Luiz. Crucial to making the team will be the ability of these players to pass the ball out from the back in tight spaces, so let's rule out Sokratis. While he's not the strongest defensively, David Luiz is arguably the best on the ball and at least has some experience. As a result, it's likely he will have a place in the starting 11, at least until the upcoming transfer window. Alongside him, Arteta will likely look to a player that he can develop. Rob Holding and Callum Chambers, both 24 years old, may be young enough to fit this criteria. Unlike Liverpool's fullbacks, who are essentially wingers, City's fullbacks under Pep tend to move centrally and cover spaces left by the attackers. Unfortunately for Arteta, the three strongest choices of fullback, Kieran Tierney and Kolasinac on the left, plus Hector Bellerin on the right, fit more into the category of wide attacking fullbacks. However, with time, it is likely these players could be developed to fit the new tactical setup, especially as all three of them are good on the ball. Due to Tierney's injury, Kolasinac may cover the left to begin with, but the young Scot is likely to be favourite for the position in the long term. Before we move on to discuss Arsenal's midfield and front line, I'd like to take a quick moment to welcome you to the channel. Here on the 12th Man, I discuss all things football. As a smaller channel, any support you show, whether that is just a single like or a subscription, it truly goes a long way. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Now let's get back to the video. Ahead of the defence, City play a midfield 3. 1 holding midfielder and 2 attacking. The holding midfielder must be able to cover a significant amount of ground when the attacking duo go forwards. Unfortunately, the likes of Fernandinho, N'Golo Kante or Wilfred Ndidi are a rare breed, and Arsenal don't have a player of this quality in the current squad. In the next transfer window, Arteta will likely prioritise this position along with a couple of others. For now, however, he could make a tactical shift and provide a bit more defensive solidity by dropping one of the attacking midfielders slightly deeper into a regular central midfield role. In the holding position, Arteta will likely choose the young and talented Lucas Torreira over the somewhat controversial Granit Xhaka. Not only does Xhaka seem to add little to the game except for regular yellow cards, he also isn't a fan favourite. while Torreira is someone the supporters desperately want to see more of. In the central midfield role, Guendouzi appears a good fit. He is dynamic on the ball and constantly improving. Criticisms of him have highlighted that he can sometimes switch off defensively, but with Torreira sitting behind him, he could flourish. In the final midfield position, the attacking midfielder, we have a contentious choice. Some fans have been screaming to see more of Mesut Ozil, while others want him out of the club as soon as possible. In this position, he could flourish in other teams, but again, this is a situation where he simply may not fit the tactics for Arteta. Pep's attacking midfielders in De Bruyne and David Silva have two main attacking roles. Number one, they are able to play delicate through balls to their forwards, and number two, they make darting runs into the half space, the area between the opposing fullback and the centre half. Here we can see an example of the latter against Burnley this season. De Bruyne plays a 1-2 with Bernardo Silva, which drags the opposing fullback out of position and then exploits the space with a run-in behind. He follows this up with a dangerous cross, and City are just inches away from scoring. While Ozil may be an expert with the first element of attack, i.e. picking out through balls, he simply isn't mobile enough to carry out the second element, to make regular runs in behind. Also consider that Man City works so hard defensively, pressing the opposition together as a unit. This role is beginning to sound less and less like it fits Ozil. Instead, Dani Ceballos is the likely candidate. In the wing positions, City play inverted wingers, i.e. players who prefer to cut inside rather than go down the line. As a result, a left-footed player will generally play on the right wing and vice versa. This allows them to cut inside and use their stronger foot. On the right wing, new signing Pepe fits the bill perfectly and has unbelievable talent. He seems a great fit in this position. Arteta will look to build him up as he adapts to the Premier League. On the left, the 18-year-old Martinelli has been playing excellently and is very hard to drop. In the centre-forward position, we have one of the world's best finishers and certainly Arsenal's best player in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Like Aguero at City, he is clinical in front of goal and happy to initiate the press. Another good fit. Playing a front three of Aubameyang, Pepe and Martinelli will involve leaving Lacazette on the bench. While an excellent player he truly is and deserves a starting position on merit alone, he simply may not fit into Arteta's tactical setup. A harsh blow for one of Arsenal's truly class players, but the team must be prioritised over the individual. In the upcoming transfer windows, Arsenal must prioritise signing two central defenders who are good on the ball and a holding midfielder that can cover large areas of ground. Here, Wilfred Ndidi may be the best young player around, but would be a tricky buy with Leicester flying high under Brendan Rodgers. This is how I believe Arteta may look at the Arsenal squad and set it up in the short to medium term, but I'm keen to hear your thoughts too. Let me know in the comments where you agree and where you disagree. One of the great things about football is that we all have unique opinions. Let me know yours in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and remember to check out other videos which you should see on the screen now.